Okay, so right now we're in the art room getting art supplies for Rin. If you remember, this is the scene where Emmy does her quirky little jump animation. At least she doesn't seem to take anything to heart. She chatters away happily while we pick the rest of the items and make our way back to Rin. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Rin is really stressed by getting her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier. Is she gonna make it? No idea. Looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe the night nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painting again like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Hemi giggles as well as at my likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes. On that, I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Shizune do. With them working as a single entity sometimes, it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all, different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Hemi giggles as I grasp out for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. You know, earlier she spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is. All that time. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over even more of the wall since the last I saw it. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange. Weird, imaginary things populating the spaces between. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settle myself on a nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems that the area around the wall has become untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs, which sport a drying spectrum of war paintings, similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Rin ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back! That was fast. Did you run in the corridors again? Hisao helped me. Emmy points victoriously at Emmy. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking in my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me and movements like in a slow-motion movie. Hello, Hisao. Thank you for the help. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you made progress. Looking good as far as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course. Not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance, their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they're blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's gonna fall asleep. There's a boy at the art club, you see. Blind boy, so he doesn't see. You, already told me. I glance sideways at Emmy, and she glances back in a way that tells me she's heard this one before, too. Neither of us says anything to Rin, though, so she continues her monotone soliloquy like an unfunny stand-up comedian. He should become an artist. No bad luck. Guaranteed. Don't you think that would be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize but can't remember the name of. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue? She's staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with Prussian blue paint in it. Jeez, Rin, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. While none of the blues look more Prussian than the others, the small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There's no Prussian blue here. Emmy heaves a sigh. I guess I have to go back and get some. I promised to help with our class project, though, so I'll be back a bit later. Can you manage without it for a few hours? Rin nods, and so Emmy leaves. I stay because I like watching Rin paint, and because I have nothing better to do. And here is the big turning point. New dialogue from here on out, people. Sorry for all of this being repeated dialogue. I sew in a box and pick up today's book from my bag. It's a story about 3 guys drinking beer for 2 weeks straight and doing little else. Rin moves from the spot that was in need of the blue and starts slowly working on another. Her foot works the brush steadily against the plastered wall. Layers of paint on top of layers of paint. The mural slowly gains more form. I turn the pages at a leisurely pace. In this chapter, they are drinking beer at the protagonist's friend's place. In the previous ones, it was the protagonist's own apartment. It's not a page-turner kind of book, a slice of someone's imaginary life that makes you wonder why it had to be written. Why indeed? The reason for doing something creative, it's something incomprehensible. Like, why Rin does paintings. It feels like she and Emmy are the same, going squarely against their fates, as if it's just out of spite. Rin even said something like that. Do something you can't just because you can. Is that what she meant? Is that her reason? It might be Emmy's. She comes off as a quite headstrong person. Rin doesn't give off that kind of an air. Thinking about it, she doesn't give off any kind of air, or maybe a different kind every time I talk with her. Why did she say what she said? Why does she, or anyone at all, paint, or draw, or sculpt, or write? I've never had much of a creative impulse, so I don't think I can really understand it. It makes me feel a little hollow inside. What a grim thought. I can't really decide whether it's true or not either. Am I content being this way? I can't deny I'm feeling a little bit envious of Rin, but I can't really consider it a flaw of any kind. I'm myself, and she is herself. Still, I do need to find something that could make me feel a little less lost about myself instead of just drowning myself in these books as I did in the hospital. I can't help but feel disoriented. The new school, lifestyle, and people around me contribute heavily to this sensation. I'm trying my best to fit into existing social circles, and most of the people I've met have been really nice. It still feels like I'm an outsider though, like I don't belong. I shake the feeling off, realizing that I'm spacing out. I have neither turned a page of the book, nor done anything for Rin. She's trying to pour some paint from a big can using only her feet, having not bothered to ask me. Or maybe she did and I didn't hear it. Either way, it looks very unstable. Giant feet on the wall. I quickly jump to help her, as it looks like she's about to spill the entire contents of the can all over the pavement. I take the can from her feet and pour some in the bowl. She doesn't say anything, and neither do I. I catch a glimpse of her eyes, looking silently at me from under her unkempt bangs. It's an unreadable expression, a perfect poker face, mixed with a hint of something like a mild surprise. I wonder what she's thinking. Maybe she's wondering about what I'm thinking. Maybe nothing. Penny for your thoughts. Do you have any pennies with you? I don't think I do. Then I don't think I'll tell. I'm not thinking anything either, so you're in luck. Except now I just did. She frowns, looking very unsatisfied. It's hard not to think about anything, but it's important. I'm about to ask what's important when some old guy walks up to us looking like he has some business with Rin. Oh, okay, this is a completely new sprite, new-ass guy. Okay, silver-haired man. Can I do an old guy voice? Let's find out. Good afternoon, how's it going? I can make it. Rin doesn't take her eyes off the wall and responds so naturally that I can only assume they know each other. I haven't seen the man before, so I naturally wonder who he might be. Maybe a teacher? His hair is faded to a silvery gray, so much that it looks artificially dyed. I hope that's not the case. Small round glasses hang on the bridge of his nose, but it appears he's constantly looking over the lenses rather than through them. He's studying the mural intently over said glasses. Good, good. What bold composition you have here. He moves to inspect the mural closer, talking to himself about it in a way that makes it obvious he wants us to hear it too. Very good indeed. I don't really know what to make of it, but Rin doesn't seem to care much. She's looking around her working space, the various bowls of different tones scattered all over. Hisao. A little more of, this. Give me a second. I pour a 50-50 mix of 2 paints into the bowl to create more of the same pale pink tone Rin was using to fill up the shape of a man's face. Rin watches me doing so, which makes me feel nervous somehow. Her face is so unassuming that it feels like she's just waiting for me to do something wrong. The man turns to reckon me as well, looking surprised as if he noticed my presence only just now. Maybe he did.
Why, hello there. Who might you be?
Oh, I'm a transfer student to class 3-3, Hisao Nakai. Nice to meet you.
Muto's class, eh? Well, I won't hold that against you.
He laughs very loudly. Obnoxiously loudly. A few small birds take flight from a nearby tree.
I'm Shinichi Nomiya, the art teacher.
So, this is the art teacher. In retrospect, should have guessed that much. He even looks like one as far as first impressions go.
How did you come to end up assisting my protege?
I wish I knew. I just kind of stuck with her, I think, is one of the meanest things you can ever say. I'm interested in the art club. Hisao's looking for some way to, channel his passions. Let's do it. I guess I'm a little interested in the art club. I blurted out partially inadvertently.
What do you mean?
Nothing specific. I wonder if I could come by sometime, even if it's just to observe or something. I've been thinking that I should join some club or something, so... It's in no way a premeditated move, but a vague sense of determination has really been building inside of me for this past week. I want to do something. I want to belong somewhere. Might as well be the art club, my shortcomings notwithstanding.
Oh, you want to join? Well, we always welcome new people, of course. Club meetings are normal enough. We study various aspects of the fine arts and try our hand at them as well. Oh, feet.
He gives an embarrassed cough, but Rin doesn't seem to mind. I take a small amount of comfort from the fact that I'm not the only one with vocabulary difficulties in this school. Nomiya rebounds from his faux pas by theatrically checking the time from his huge, gleaming pocket watch and slaps his forehead even more theatrically.
I really must take my leave now, but if you have questions, I'm sure Tezuka can clarify.
Somehow mentioning clarify and Rin in the same sentence doesn't seem right. However, I don't say as much to the teacher since he seems to be in a hurry.
Tezuka, I'm pleased to see this little project is going so well. I just stopped by to remind you not to run off by yourself tomorrow. I've invited certain people to the festival for you, and I'm sure they'd like to meet you as well. I hope I'll see you on Monday then, Nakai.
The teacher leaves, and we are left by ourselves again. Rin is still painting as if nothing notable happened. Since nothing in fact did, I'm left wondering what on earth is wrong with me. Art and I haven't worked well together in the past, at least judging from the grades I used to have in middle school. Maybe a club will be different than an obligatory class. Who knows? I try to come up with something meaningful to ask about it, but to no avail. I'll just go to a club meeting and see how it goes. So, he invites some people tomorrow just to check out your painting? He has a lot of art people friends. They like to talk about art. I think he wants me to talk about art with them. Somehow I get the feeling that you aren't too thrilled about it. Rin shrugs noncommittally, but still gives an impression of her general displeasure at the idea of having to discuss her painting, or any painting, with other people. I don't really like talking about art. It's already a way to talk without talking, so why bother talking about it? I can understand that. It's like being bored and talking about being bored because you're bored. I'm not following you. Have you ever talked about being bored? It's pointless and not very exciting. All I can really say about it is, I'm so bored. I once spent a week trying to think of something meaningful to say about boredness. It was the most boring week I've ever had. But that's pretty fitting, don't you think? Rin gives me a look, the laconic kind that looks like it doesn't mean anything, but it does. Anyway, I don't know. I guess I just rarely can come up with anything to say about art. I mean, like this one you're doing now. I have no idea what to think about it except that it looks nice. What is this painting about? It's not about anything at all. That's what I'd like to say, so I did. But that was a small lie. I said it anyway because I would kind of like it to be true. Teacher wanted me to do this, but I didn't have any ideas. Tried to have some, but nothing happened. So now this is a painting without any ideas. But, what are you painting then? No idea. Come to think of it, I think I'll call this No Idea. Ah, now I started thinking again. This is bad. I love that animation so much. She shakes her head vigorously for a while, trying to shake thinking out of her head. That amber red hair flies wildly around. This is why I had Emmy help me. She makes it easy to not think about anything. You know how she just talks about nothing for hours? It's like her head is made of bubblegum foam bath jelly. You're kind of the same, but not really. It's very helpful if you stay here. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not. It's probably neither, with Rin being the overtly neutral person she is. So, is there anything specific you'd like me to do to make you not think? Just be. So without knowing what I should do, I just sit in an empty box to watch her continue with the painting, idly leafing the pages of the beer-drinking book. Rin has a serene expression on her face, her dark green eyes hiding what she might think behind them. No, wait. She's supposedly not thinking anything, right? She quietly hums to a tune, interrupting every now and then with polite requests for more paint or another kind of brush. Her concentration is admirable, even though she seems to be sleep-deprived and under pressure to finish the job. Inch by inch, the paintings gain more form, details being added on top of details, colors entwining with each other, filling the empty spaces, growing on top of each other. I find myself thinking about inspiration and motivation to create art again. Where does one get ideas? They don't come out of nowhere, and I don't think there are any muses that magically inject some inspiration in your head. Ideas have an origin and a purpose. The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that Rin is lying about her mural, or at least twisting the truth. Maybe she doesn't even realize it herself. You can't do anything creative without having an idea of what you're going to create. That would go against the definition. Every stroke must be decided to be drawn. Even if it's made at random, then that too is a conscious decision. So her painting, even this one, must be based on having some deliberate goal or idea of what to paint. If Rin's idea is to have no idea, as she said, does that count as having an idea? A logical paradox? That seems to be Rin's modus operandi for most normal interactions, so it wouldn't surprise me if she hadn't even noticed this herself. I wonder if I should bring it up, but I'm not sure I want to engage in an argument about logic with this girl. One of us would probably end up short-circuiting fairly quickly, so I discard the thought. Rin is squirming and shuffling restlessly. Even her usual blank visage breaks occasionally into pretty difficult-looking expressions, the kind that one doesn't just come up with accidentally. Everything alright? Yes. No. My back started hurting again. This painting is too big after all, and it's hard to paint in this position. Want to take a break? After I finish this part. Of course, she doesn't take a break, and I don't bring it up again because that would be completely and utterly pointless. Rin continues her work, and I stay with her. I like to watch her paint, and I'm gonna be a member of the same club she's in now. Yeah, waited there 5 hours with her. When she declares the mural to be finished, it's already so dark that I have no idea how she can tell. There's no celebration, no general sense of a job well done. Just a tired and laconic, I'm done, and then we both go to sleep. Nice. Okay. I see where this route's going. I'm gonna join the art club. Hisao's gonna join the art club. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna make some art, people. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. I wonder if this is skippable. It is skippable. Okay. I guess we'll keep going? Oh! Well, I joined the art club, so I guess I'll go with them.
You did what?
I joined the art club.
Man, that was a bad move. Really bad. You don't know what kind of girls there are in the art club. Troubled, angsty cuties who tear your heart out and eat it raw.
Well, I know one art club member, and I don't really see Rin suddenly becoming a psychotic murderer. That seems unlikely.
Don't say that. Don't fool yourself. You have no idea what you're dealing with here, man. They are the worst kind. They drag you in with all this fancy-pantsy shit, and then when you least expect it, bam!
Bam what? Kenji seems slightly fazed at my skepticism, but not any less loony.
It doesn't matter. Tread carefully, man. Tread carefully.
He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster as it's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course.
I'm going to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival.
Okay.
Later, dude.
The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. The happy hubbub of the crowd greets me as I push myself to the main door and step outside. The school grounds are transformed to festival grounds over yesterday and this morning. Colorful stands line up the main walkways from the main entrance to the school building. Some people are still carrying stuff to and fro, but behind most counters are relaxed students who look like they're good to go. Most of the other students have been up early to finish preparations. A feeling of guilt passes through me, but it soon goes away. I'm just a lowly transfer student after all. Some visitors are already strolling around the grounds. There's some young families with the perturbed parents trying to keep up with their over-enthusiastic offspring. A few students of our own accompanied by their parents. And a lot of old and young people are here for no reason I can imagine. The carillon bursts into life, and the principal's squeaky voice announces the opening of the festival over the PA system. Everyone applauds politely, if a bit unenthusiastically. A school festival? We didn't really have festivals in my old high school. Feels kind of old-fashioned, especially considering the school I came from, but it's somewhat exciting. A day off feels sweet after the first week of hard work, despite me lying on the hospital bed for 4 months prior to this. I recall even wishing that I could go to math lessons during my stint at the hospital. I can't remember the program for the festival, even though Muto went through it during class just the other day. I step off the dorm steps and intend to take a tour around the grounds to see all the stuff the others have set up, but I only make it down to the bottom of the stairs. A few people are studying Rin's mural on the wall, while the artist herself is lounging on the sidelines, leaning against the wall and looking extremely bored and mildly under the weather. Good morning.
Hello.
How's it going?
Nowhere. I'm stuck.
What do you mean, stuck?
I mean, I can't walk stuck. I think my legs are out of order because of yesterday.
Does it hurt?
It's hard to say. Maybe.
The strain of working on the mural was greater than she let me know. I thought it was just a bit of tired muscles or something. I mean, to ask something further, but Rin swiftly moves on to another topic.
Teacher's friends came by. Then they head into town for lunch and asked me to go. It was a good thing my legs hurt so much.
But you're stuck sitting there? That's not good.
I'll just wait till I can walk again. It should be either sooner or later if you think about it for a while. Teacher was happy that I finished the mural.
He should be.
But I wonder if it's finished after all.
Oh?
I thought yesterday that I'd done everything, but now I'm not sure anymore. I should paint more details. Maybe. Probably. It's very hard to decide.
Finished or not, the mural looks great in broad daylight. Various human body parts repeated over and over in a wildly mutating, mostly disfigured variety are the main element. They're rough-looking as if thoughtlessly placed and rudimentarily painted, but a great deal of thought and care has gone into each and every one of them. Does this one have a frog growing out of its head?
It's a goldfish.
What's that?
It's nothing.
Anyway, the wall is so wide that I have to turn my neck from side to side to see the entire painting. Those boobs are allowed, right? It's art. It's like, you don't, censor the Venus de Milo. What is the Venus de Milo? Oh god, am I, like, what is the Venus de Milo? It's the one with no arms, right? It's a statue with no arms? Oh no. The wall is so wide that I have to turn my neck from side to side to see the entire painting. It's hard to consider it as a single piece. The elements don't seem to fit together, but I guess they do create some kind of a whole. Abstract as it is, I have no idea what it's supposed to be portraying, but it looks nice. That's enough for me. I settle myself next to Rin, leaning against the wall like she does. Happy noises of the festival are becoming louder and louder as more folks enter the grounds. The dorms are far from the main attractions in the main building, and the stands around the courtyard, so most visitors have not found their way here yet. Slide in. A somewhat bored expression settles on Rin's face, making her look detached from everything that's going around her. She's being awfully quiet. I wonder if she's in pain. So, what do the art people say about your mural? My question wakes Rin from her daydreaming. She lazily turns her face towards me.
I'm not sure. I think they liked it. Maybe they did.
What about you? Are you happy with the mural? Because I kind of participated. It'd be terrible if you weren't happy. Rin tilts her head, biting her lower lip.
I think it came out decently. It's not bad, but it's not good either. It just is. I guess I'm alright at being empty-minded.
Can I ask something else? What does the painting really portray? I thought about it yesterday when you said that it doesn't portray anything. But that's a logical fallacy, isn't it? You can't make something out of nothing, not even art. Rin frowns and turns her head back towards the clouds.
I don't know. I'm not really good at explaining things. It's just a mural. There's nothing special to it. I said it already.
She sounds annoyed at my inquiries.
I didn't know what I'd paint, so I decided to just paint a mural. It's a mural that portrays a mural. No, wait, I just thought of a better way to say it. It portrays itself. So, its muralness is at the maximum, at least as far as I can do. So if you think it has some meaning, I think that's the same as this one has.
That makes no sense. Meaning. I feel the corners of my mouth turning upwards into a smile that's just a tiny bit bothered. I have never understood art in the deepest meaning of the word. I get the basics, how art is supposed to only be a means for exchanging ideas and thoughts. However, I never learned how I should interpret a piece of art to somehow divine what the artist intends to say through it. I know it's not any special skill, but somehow my brain never can connect art with anything else than what I see. All I see is a mural. I can admire the technical skill, after all even I know the difference between bad art and mediocre art. Mediocre art and good art. But that's as far as I can go, so don't ask me about meanings, Rin. Her reply sure made me reluctant to ask her about it any further either. So, what are you doing when you get on your feet?
Nothing.
Nothing, but there's the festival. Don't you want to go have some fun?
I'm fine like this.
You don't like socializing much, do you? I think I'm arguing more for her than for myself at this point. It's not that I'm particularly thrilled about the festival either, just a bit curious to see what it's like, and that's about it. Her answer is unsurprising.
No, I don't.
I guess me neither in the end.
You should go if you want to.
I know, but I can keep you company. I'm not used to all this just yet, so it's okay to take it easy. I can leave, though, if you want to be alone.
I like it if you're here.
We circle around each other with the words, but eventually end up somewhere. Her saying that makes me feel oddly happy, so I stay. Her presence is something I like too. The odd, warm aura of serenity that she seems to emanate makes it comfortable to be silent. I really like that. Just want to say, being silent with another person and being like 100% comfortable is one of the best feelings in the world. Very relatable. We watch people walk by, the two of us silent, everyone else chattering happily among themselves. Students are leading their families to the dorms to show their rooms. They pass us in the mural, maybe glance at it once or twice. I pay less attention to them and more to my companion, trying to figure my way past her cryptic, unreadable wall of a face. Rin's eyes flicker restlessly from one person to another as they walk by. Is she waiting for people to stop the mural, maybe secretly hoping someone would comment on it? I don't think anyone would assume she was the artist. We're just sitting here like a pair of hobos after all, and she doesn't even have hands. I wonder if it's even in Rin's style to fish for compliments. She seems so aloof. More people walk by, some of them pointing their fingers at the mural, exchanging words that I can't make out. Someone drops a snow cone on his shoe. Too bad for him. Everyone seems to like it. I suggest attentively, throwing a topic in the stale summer air separating us. Rin doesn't answer right away, but by now I'm mostly used to her occasional slowness when she must talk. It's like she takes great care picking her words, which is really unbelievable when we consider the jumble that comes out of her mouth.
I wanted to make it so that you can look at it without thinking. Then I realized that it doesn't make any sense, so it became something like a mix of this and that. From far away, it looks like someone vomited a herd of butterflies on the wall, which is exactly what the obnoxious present person didn't want. Is that word that?
What word?
That. What is the word for more than one butterfly?
The butterflies?
No, like a herd or a school or a heap.
Oh, I don't know, a flock maybe?
Maybe people like butterfly vomit.
Rin looks at the mural, looking surprisingly unhappy.
The middle could be better. Usually I like in-betweens, but this was a pain in my butt. Not literally, of course. Then again, I did get that too. I guess it was literally after all.
Don't be so critical of yourself. She looks at me funnily, but shuts up. At about this point, I start thinking if I should really leave and do something more constructive with my Sunday. This is the pinnacle of social failure. A whole free day, a festival right outside my doorstep, and what do? Sit here with Rin. Two bystanders with nothing to do except to think what a pity it is to be just a bystander. Even realizing how pitiful it is, I don't do anything. I don't stand up and take off for a day of fun. Shuffle, shuffle. Fidget. Shovel. Rin is shuffling about restlessly, constantly swinging one leg over the other knee and then back again. She has a very irritated look on her face. Is something wrong?
Yes. No. Yes.
She suddenly hops up on her feet. It's surprising. I thought she was still rendered immobile, but apparently that's not the case.
I have to go find Emmy or someone. I need some help with something.
I can help you.
No, it's okay. One of us has to stay here in case something happens.
Don't be ridiculous. Nothing even remotely interesting has happened since I came here except that one guy who dropped a snow cone in his foot. Let me help you since I'm bored. So what is it? Rin's lips flatten tightly against each other into an almost perfectly horizontal line. She closes her eyes and draws in a deep breath. When she opens her eyelids, the frighteningly stern look in her dark eyes takes me aback.
Hisao, you might not want to hear this, or maybe you do, I don't know. But it doesn't matter, and even if it did, you are not leaving me any choice.
I just read like the first line.
I'm having my period and I need some help regarding that. However, I don't feel that relationship is yet on the level where I would allow you to pull my underwear down in the girls' toilet even if you offer to. That's why you should stay here while I go and look for Emmy.
As blood rushes to my cheeks like the rising tide, my brains try to desperately search for an answer, but the only thing I can think of is how that was the most coherent thing I have heard coming out of Rin's mouth during these 4 days I've known her. Yeah. Not wanting to meet Rin's eyes, I turn my face aside, pretending I'm looking at someone's parents. From the corner of my eye, I see Rin turning on her heel and walking off without further ado. I feel like going to hide under some rock. I wonder how long Rin will be gone, or if she'll return at all. She does return eventually, appearing seemingly out of nowhere and sitting back to where she was, next to my place.
I'm back.
She says it flatly, like my blunder never happened. I prefer to forget the whole matter as well, so I keep quiet. Shadow. Time passes in standstill. The sun gleams from high above the main building. It hits me directly in the eyes, but I just squint instead of moving. In a bit, it becomes painful to keep my eyes open just a little, and my temples start aching. Oh, my head hurts. I think this day gave me a headache, can you believe it?
Are you hungry?
How is that related to a headache?
It's not. I ask because I am.
Her oblivious seriousness melts my irritation with that is a hard sentence to say. Hold on. Her oblivious seriousness melts my irritation with its ridiculousness, and I find the corners of my mouth turning slightly upwards again. Ooh, that is a tongue twister. You know what? So am I. I'll go get some food for us. What do you want? My treat.
Doesn't matter.
Returning with the food, I give one portion to Rin, taking the other for myself, and we dig in without a word. Rin looks upwards, fork hanging out of the corner of her mouth.
What are clouds? I always thought they were thoughts of the sky or something like that, because you can't touch them.
You thought like that when you were a kid?
No, last week. Maybe because sometimes my thoughts feel like clouds. Fluffy and white and slow. Like the sky was in my mind. Like my mind was the sky.
The sky of your mind?
Close your eyes and think of sky. You won't have to think of anything else until you stop.
I try it. It works. Magic? Opening my eyes, I see Rin studying me with hers. It feels uncomfortable because she doesn't say anything. I turn away. Clouds are water. Evaporated water. You know they say that almost all the water in the world will at some point of its existence be a part of a cloud. Every drop of tears and blood and sweat that comes out of you, it'll be a cloud. All the water inside your body too, it goes up there sometime after you die. It might take a while though.
Your explanation is better than any of mine.
Because it's true.
Yeah, that must be it.
I carry on eating the food before it gets cold. The wall offers a bit of blessed shade as the sun revolves around the dome of the sky. But the afternoon's already slowly making way for the evening, so our lunch becomes more of a dinner. Or whatever the word is for an irregular meal like this.
Oh, that's a callback. That's a callback to when they first met and Rin asked what comes between lunch and dinner. Oh!
Despite what I decide to call it, it certainly hits a spot. I haven't eaten a bit since forever. My appetite filled, I let out a satisfied sigh. Rin hasn't eaten all of hers, but seems to be done with her food as well. I lean back, taking in the atmosphere. The crowd thinned already, but the activities are still going. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. And why not? It's warm, the kind of perfect summer day when it's hot, but not too hot for comfort. The sun will set soon. Time really has flown by. We've been sitting here for 6 hours.
Yes, we have. Do you want to do something else now?
No, not really.
Me neither.
She adjusts her position and leans against a wall, and I follow her lead, relaxing my own body. For minutes on end, we sit there without saying a word. I'm trying to feel Rin's mood from her demeanor, the tension of her muscles, the tiny expressions fleeting on her face. It's no use. She's unreadable as always. The crowd swells to and fro, people happily chattering with each other. Very few people pay real attention to the mural, and even less to us. I fiddle with a few odd pebbles absent-mindedly. The act of doing something just for the sake of doing something, the pinnacle of idleness. Inch by inch, the sun creeps lower and lower towards the tree line, changing the color of the sky close to the horizon from golden yellow to orange and red as the moment of sunset draws near. I feel like my stomach is filled with lead after eating so heavily, but the brick wall feels surprisingly comfortable against my back. I try to fight against the drowsy feeling that's overwhelming me, to no avail. Whoa, I really did just... Isao just slept. I wake up with a start. A low boom reverberates throughout the school grounds. After images of bright sparks flash from my vision like stars. Something rises towards the skies from the direction of the sports field. A tail of fire trails behind it until a burst of red and yellow flame lights the sky high above the school with another loud boom. Fireworks. The sudden flash of light against the canvas of the night sky awakens me to realize that it's actually dark already. How long did I sleep? I feel groggy and I can't feel my right arm. As I attempt to flex it, I realize why. Rin is leaning heavily against my shoulder, almost falling on my lap. She's fast asleep, not even fazed by the fireworks. Her mouth is slightly open and her eyes are peacefully closed. A sleeping, childlike face of the innocent. I shake Rin gently with my free arm, trying to wake her up, or failing that, move her so that my other arm is liberated from its pinch. Rin's face twitches and her eyelids shut tighter, as if to resist against waking up. She gradually opens her eyes, but keeps them half closed, letting the light from the fireworks sneak just past her eyelashes, so that her green irises mirror the bright flashes of the explosions, then looks up at me and frowns.
Just a while longer, okay?
Rin's voice is drowsy and slow, leaving her almost unintelligibly muttered words hanging lazily in the air. It seems she's not entirely aware of the situation. Rin's head drops back on my shoulder as she leans against me with all her weight. She snuggles against my side, trying to make herself comfortable, but making me feel very uncomfortable at the same time. I become intensely, almost painfully aware of Rin's warm body and the deep, peaceful movement of her chest against my arm, her breathing soon returning to the even rhythm. I can't help admiring her gift for sleeping, or the ease of mind of hers to use someone she has known for less than a week as a pillow. The rockets rise up to the sky one at a time, breaking into flowers of red, green, and gold, accompanied by the oohs and ahs of the audience. I try to push Rin's disconcerting proximity out of my mind, for what can I do about it? I just hope her short while really is that. One by one, the glittery bursts are born and die in the blink of an eye, coloring the dark night sky into a constantly changing abstract painting. I listen to the low booms of the explosions and Rin's quiet breathing, trying to clear my own head of the post-awakening disorientation. Thankfully, just a while longer really proves to be just a while, as Rin stirs from her slumber and wakes up again before the fireworks are over.
I fell asleep.
She finally opens her eyes completely and blinks a few times. You fell asleep on top of me. Twice.
You didn't like it?
Despite the inconclusive stammering, Rin sits upright, drawing herself away from me. Well, you are heavy. It's a lie. She weighs next to nothing, but I have to get a jab back at her, even if it's under the belt. My mock protest fails to draw any reaction as Rin's attention is drawn upwards to the flashes of the fireworks. She seems hypnotized by the colorful play of the explosions. A slight tingling sensation goes up and down in my arm as blood starts to circulate again. It's unpleasant, but it helps me to get rid of this dizzy feeling. More and more rockets rise up to the sky, the bright colors of their explosions reflecting from the clouds. Both of us stare at the fireworks fixedly through the canopy of the trees, enthralled by the show. We would get a vastly better view of the sky if we moved even a couple of yards, but neither of us bothers to even suggest it.
I really do like fireworks, even though looking at them makes me feel kinda sad, I think. It's like they want you to look at them so bad, and they're so loud and bright, But when someone looks, they're already gone. It's like they weren't even real.
They are real, I can tell you that. All of this is real, you know? If you think about it, nothing really lasts for long. Even something like my life or yours is just a blink of an eye in the history of everything, like one of those rockets. Poof, and we're gone. But we're here, aren't we? Yeah, this is reality. Rin sitting next to me, the loud bangs of the fireworks, the vast, unlimited sky. These things are definitely real, even though they won't stay here forever. I feel warm inside, and I wonder if it's because Rin is so close to me, or just the feeling of being alive.
I don't really know what I should say next.
It's alright. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. But you know, fireworks are pretty, but in the end, isn't it somehow silly to spend so much money on a fraction of a second worth of pretty sparkles? Rin rips her gaze off the still ongoing spectacle and leans backwards, looking at me with a repulsed face.
Wow, I never expected you to be such a cynic.
Cynic is a pretty harsh word. Rather than that, I think of myself as a realist.
Isn't a realist just the word for what a cynic calls himself?
The final rocket goes out with a bang of silver and blue, leaving the grounds eerily silent for a moment until the crowd starts moving towards the main gate like a cattle herd. Wisps of gray smoke drift towards the dorm from the sports field. The pungent, sulfurous smell of gunpowder it carries along feels like it sticks to my hair and clothes. Was that it?
I think so.
I stand up and stretch my sore back. Sleeping against a brick wall wasn't such a good idea after all. Rin stands up as well and turns to face me with an expectant gaze on her tired features. Although she seems to have trouble focusing her eyes, she's looking straight at me, something I feel hasn't occurred too often in the past week. So... I suddenly realize we have been almost on a date here, as if by accident, even if we did nothing. But it wasn't, so why blood is rushing to my cheeks and my speech stammering? I don't know what I should say, especially since it seems Rin is waiting for me to say something, but luckily she solves my problem for me.
Good night, Asao.
She gives me one more lingering look, measuring me from tip to toe, turns around on her heel and skips off, disappearing into the crowd. Okay, good night. I'm left standing there, giving my response to the cooling night air. The festival turned out to be nothing like I expected. I ended up spending all day in one spot with Rin, even though neither of us agreed on nor suggested that we do anything. I just didn't have anything better to do, and evidently neither did she. Rin's warmth lingers for a while longer in my body before disappearing into the falling night.
That was so cute. Oh my god.
It has just hit me that this is the last cool anime cutscene we're gonna get. Gee, I sure hope that's not foreshadowing.
Act 2. Disconnect.
Yeah, alright, that was cute. That's probably... It might be my recency bias talking. You know, whatever. But I think that's my favorite festival event. That was really good. I don't know. That's exactly what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to read. But anyway, we're on the Rin route now, officially. Oh, I've been recording for like 3 hours. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time for more Rin stuff. I'm looking forward to it a lot. If that festival scene is, you know, an indication of what we're gonna get, like in the whole route, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. And oh god, I just have to remind myself, this is the last one. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time where we'll see more Rin. See you then. Peace.